What's going on, y'all? Machiavelli Mills TV. So, I'm watching Russell Wilson play now at the beginning of the season, and Russell Wilson is looking terrible. He's looking abysmal. The brother is looking like Mitch Trubisky 2.0, except he's playing in a Denver Broncos uniform. It's terrible. And it's clear to me that Russ is now more interested in being a celebrity than being an NFL quarterback, and that's a problem. And when I'm hearing these stories come out of the Denver Broncos organization, former Denver Broncos like Shannon Sharpe is talking about how Russell Wilson has his own office in a Denver Broncos facility away from the locker room of the other players. It shows me what's going on. Russell Wilson is not ingratiating himself towards his teammates, right? Of all the great Denver Broncos to ever play in the organization, Peyton Manning, John Elway, they didn't have their own office away from the locker room. That don't even make no sense. Why are you trying to do that? Because doing something like that shows, it indicates that you're above the fray and not of the fray with the rest of the players. You're trying to show that you're not of common man. The quarterback position is already treated like a celebrity. It's already treated, above standard, well above standard with the NFL rules, with how they're paid, so on and so forth. They're already treated like the golden children. So for him to have an office separate from the locker room, it's trying to make it seem like you're better than the rest of the teammates. And when you do that, teammates don't respect you. They don't vibe with you because you're not trying to make personal relationships with your other teammates, right? And it seems like that the Seattle Seahawks may have saw this in Russell Wilson a while ago, and we just didn't see it, right? Or they saw his play starting to trend down at some point. And I saw a clip of what's my boy name? Marshawn Lynch, right? Marshawn Lynch was on what's the boys podcast? Marshawn Lynch was on what's Richard Sherman. He was on Richard Sherman's podcast, and he was basically talking about how he would love to reach out towards Russell Wilson, right? However, if you try to reach out to Russell got, you got to go through his manager. You can't never call Russell Wilson directly. You got to go through his manager, this person, that person. Real Hollywood type stuff, and now that he's married to a celebrity, Ciara, I think now he feel like he got to move in that celebrity ilk. Look, he's getting all the love on the Shade Room, all these different high-profile entertainment magazines and outlets. I think now Russell is looking at himself as just a celebrity more than an NFL player. Dog, the NFL, football is a sport where camaraderie is needed most, right? You can't be an individual within, you really need camaraderie and friendships because you're in the trenches playing football like a rough, tough sport together. You all need to be on one accord. You need to have a great bond established. You need chemistry more in football than any other sport. Basketball, you can kind of be an individual a little bit more. Baseball, you can kind of be an individual a little bit more. But football, nah, bro. That's a sport I know where friendships and bonds, it helps winning. It helps when you're tight, when you have good chemistry, when you really like each other, when you're bonded as brothers. It helps teams win games for sure. I'm not saying that players have not disliked each other on teams, because they have, but it helps when the bond is strong. And when Russell Wilson is isolating himself purposely, that's not good, man. It's not good, and it doesn't help that he's not playing well. He on a team, he on a plane doing workouts and all this and all of that, and telling the reporters how he doing all these workouts and how he know how to get rid of jet lag and he know how to beat jet lag. Basically alluding to the fact that he knows how to defeat jet lag better than anybody else, and how he do all this working out on the plane and he doing all these up downs on the plane and all of that. If I was Russell Wilson's teammate, I would have told him, bro, sit your ass down, bro. Sit down. We trying to sleep. We trying to prepare for this game. We trying to get our minds right. You need to be doing the same. Instead of trying to look good and trying to put on fronts for the reporters, right? For the coaching staff to make it look like you're doing something, right? The thing you need to be doing is come out of that office, come in the locker room with us, bond with us in practice, establish a relationship with your receivers that are real as true, establish a rapport, a good bond, good chemistry with your receivers, with your offensive line, with your running backs, in order for that offense to be clicking on all cylinders, because the offense is looking atrocious. It's looking horrific. That's what you need to be doing. Instead of trying to create an image to the media, a facade that you're some oh, you're the most hardest working. This is the thing. I talked about it with Jimmy Butler. Now Russell Wilson knows what a lot of the white media members like. They fall into those hard working, hard hat and lunch pail tropes. So now he's trying to appear like the hardest working individual within the team in order to get the media off of his back, in order to get the Denver fans on his side. Because once the media starts writing good about you, and once they feel like, oh my God, he's really trying, he's really putting in hard work and dedication, they'll be able to somehow swindle or sway the fans into your favor. Not all of the fans, because a lot of the fans don't always go with what the media says, but you have some who will go with the media and be like, hey, it's not Russell's fault, man. He really is. He's working hard. He's on the plane doing workouts. He's doing workouts for hours on a plane while they're traveling to another country. Oh my God. When they're traveling from state to state, oh my God, he's on the plane working out. Oh my God. He really is bringing his hard hat and lunch pail everywhere he goes. So, hey, maybe we should back off of him. That's what he's doing. Russell is trying to create the illusion that he's this hardworking guy and you need to leave him alone and not talk about him because he's trying his hardest. Well, brother, doing workouts is not enough. Ingratiate yourself with your teammates in order to get the ball rolling. Because those owners in Denver, they want to win now. That's why they paid him that money. And I was an advocate of Russell Wilson for the longest, right? I felt like that when he was in Seattle, I felt like when he first started, guys were purposely not trying to ingratiate themselves with him because he didn't display the common inner city swagger that a lot of black men have, right? He didn't show that. He didn't come from that inner city. He didn't have the inner city swagger, and I thought people were trying to isolate themselves from him and make fun of him because maybe he wasn't black enough in their eyes, right? But now, look, this is the thing. Now Russell Wilson is established, and that may have been the case, but now, and some people will be like, well, that's not the case because they accept all the white quarterbacks, and they're quirky, but it's different being a white man. People look at it as expected. Black folks look at it as expected that you're not. You don't have the inner city swagger. But when you're black playing quarterback, a lot of the players expect you to have an inner city swagger and flair to you that Russell Wilson did not have. And so because of that, I felt like people were making fun of him and isolating themselves from him, right? But then he won a Super Bowl. He showed that he was the straw that stirred the drink after the Legion of Boom left, after the running game was gone. He was the guy that was keeping the Seattle Seahawks afloat, and he earned his respect, right? But once you got your respect earned and established, you have to now show that you have love and respect for your teammates. Not just being nice to them, but trying to establish a relationship, trying to show that you're one of the guys, trying to show that you're not above the fray. You're one of them. You're not this bigger. You're not a figure that's way bigger than who they are. And Russell Wilson failed to do that, and I'm seeing that now. You got to go through former teammates can't even call you directly. Shannon Sharpe was like, I couldn't imagine if John Elway had me. I got to go through this assistant, that assistant to talk to him, and we built a rapport. We were in the trenches together. We went to war together. I can only imagine if he had me calling this. I got to call this person, that person to talk to John Elway. You know what I mean? To talk to Trent Dilfer, to talk to TD, Terrell Davis. Like, come on, are you serious? Who does that with teammates they used to play with and they were in the trenches with? Unless that person was just an asshole to you. And I don't think Marshawn Lynch was ever an asshole to Russell Wilson. Marshawn probably was grateful and gracious to Russell, backing him up. But everybody gotta go through all these assistants to reach you, bro. Who are you? Some Hollywood diva now? Cause you married to Sierra? Come on, bro. No, man. And I've been an advocate for Russell Wilson, a fan of his, and I've been getting people off of his back when black folks were trying to insinuate that he was a simp and all this. I wasn't with none of that bullshit because I knew it was bullshit, and I knew Russell was a good man and a solid man and a good husband and a great father, right? Great husband, great father, and I'm all for pushing those narratives within our black community. Being cool is not monolithic. The way people were trying to make it seem like, oh, you got to be this way to be cool. You got to talk like this, dress like this, carry yourself like this to be cool. And because Russell Wilson didn't carry himself like that, people were trying to say he wasn't cool and take away from his cool factor, right? But now, with the stuff that we're seeing from Russell now, trying to do all these workouts on a plane to try to make himself seem like he's doing something to the media, that's cringeworthy, right? When you're talking to all these cliches after the game, after you played terrible, instead of saying I played bad, that's cringeworthy. So he got to fix it. He got to fix the chemistry and the dynamic within his locker room ASAP before it falls apart. It is already kind of falling apart anyway, but he got to try to fix this in some way because they are in shambles over there in Denver. And the Denver Bronco fans are not happy because they look like they got swindled out of the deal that they thought they won this all-seeing eye quarterback in Russell Wilson, and it's not working out well. I wish Russell the best. I want him to turn it around, but I also want him to ingratiate himself to his teammates and let him know that he's for them and he's one of them as well, and not that he's above them. I want him to show that he's one of the guys and relate and build a rapport and a chemistry with his teammates the way other NFL quarterbacks have to. Machiavelli Mills TV, I'm out. Peace.